We begin, though, in studio with a special guest this evening. Markus Carr joins us. He is the founder of Crossover Nation, played locally here, Cal State Northridge, with the one and only Keith Jackson, our co-host here, of course, and has played in Europe for quite some time as well. Markus, awesome to have you in here tonight, man. How are things going?
Thanks for having me. Things are really going well. I'm happy to be back in Los Angeles, number one. I mean, this is awesome to come here and see Keith, my old roommate, talk some sports, but everything is going well.
Now take us back to, early in the days here, rooming with Keith, obviously, at Northridge.
Oh, man, we can go all day on that.
Yeah, we can go all day. Yeah, we can go all day.
What's the best story off the bat between you two and playing basketball? Too many to choose from, I would think.
I don't want to laugh my whole segment. No, that's funny. Keith, no, he was a warrior. One day in training, was that practice?
Practice.
This was practice, man. And we were training hard, and coach was like, yo, get after it, get after it. I think we lost the game or something.
Yeah.
And so there was no room for error. Yeah. And Keith, in the middle of practice, dislocates his shoulder.
Oh, he told me about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't stop, though. He's like the warrior. He's still playing, like, going.
Well, that's
like,
Keith. He keeps it going.
That's Keith, man. But at the end of the day, it was kind of funny,
Yeah, he's always laughing, man.
Keith was, we had a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of stories, but I mean, that was one funny one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there was many more. There was one where we had a former player that wasn't staying in shape like he was supposed to. So
someone's got to get on him about it.
Yeah,
clearly.
So we go to practice, and our coach wants to make a statement for him. And so we're running line drills, and we're making the line drills. Everybody's making them, and this guy is not making the line drills at all, right? So then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, my God. So the coach goes, we're going to run another one. And we did these things called 55s. We're crazy, right? So after he didn't make it, then I didn't make it. And then you look back, because I used to try to stay with Markus the whole time. So then Markus was like lagging back, and I was still making. I was like, why is he jogging back? Because he knew he wasn't going to make it. So then I couldn't make not one, and they was like diving me across everything. So long story short, we get up to the line, I pass out, and I'm like laying there like, exhausted, and the coach just standing there not doing anything. We just like, take him, Steve. That was the trainer. Steve, take him. Do you know after they took me out, that these fools made the line drill?
Yeah. But
I was pissed.
Wow. That's crazy. You never know, right?
It's a lot of running. It was like, basically, we were timed. If you didn't make the time, you had to go again.
Oh, yeah. We all know what that's like.
So
in any sport.
We hit a wall. At some point. That was
awesome.
Funny.
Well, it's great to have you here, like we said, and we want to get into a bunch of different things. Playing in Europe right away, you played there for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. The experience, compare and contrast from the U.S. to Europe, playing styles, what it was like for you maybe initially, and maybe how things kind of evolved for you over time.
Well, when I first came to Europe, I was like, man, where am I? I mean, this is really Europe. The guys had the high shorts and the funny socks and shoes and stuff like this. But once I got involved with the culture, you realize at the end of the day, it's just basketball. Yeah. So when I first got to Europe, I remember the first 3 weeks were hell. This jet lag. I think I came up with a little story like, I'm trying to get out of here. Like, my mom's sick or something like that. Please send me home. Yeah.
You had to get them to maybe send some of those care packages.
Many. Everybody needs those.
Yeah.
Especially at the beginning.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, this is a reminder. Everything's so different. You got the time change. You got, the different language. I remember going to a shop looking for milk. Yeah. And in Austria, where I was at the time, where I live now, it's milk. Milk. This is like at the end. Right? And I was like, yo, I need milk. And they was looking at me like, what? I was making cow noises. Moo, milk. And then at the end, milk.
You got to speak their language, man. That's what it's about, right? Over time, and you naturally pick things up.
Naturally pick it up. It took me about... I'm still going, but it took me about 10 years to really get it. Yeah, they speak German in Austria, so German is one of the most difficult languages around.
Is it really?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look online, it's like top 4.
Wow,
most difficult. Yeah, it's a little bit, but yeah.
I gotta ask you though. I mean, look, you came out here, you were out here, and you played all your life out here in basketball, and you led the nation in assists, as we know, and led the team to the NCAA tournament, first berth in Northridge in history of the team. And then you go overseas. And how was that adjustment in terms of basketball-wise, like the game? Is it different? Is it much faster? Is it slower? I mean, what do they expect? An American going in there, what are they going to expect going overseas?
Well, obviously, as an American, they expect you to be the one to lead the team, or expect us to be the ones to guide the teams. But there's so many differences, like and with the rules. So many Americans who travel to Europe to play basketball in the beginning, it's hard to adjust. You know, the traveling, the different calls and stuff like that. And for me, that was also the hardest part, getting adjusted to the European style of the game. Yeah, I mean, things are slower. Here we rely on a lot of things like athletic ability. And there it's more a thinking man's game because, let's say, the athletic ability was not really there, and as much as it is here. So, like, you had big guys back then. I'm talking 15 years ago when I started, who were shooting three-pointers, which was unheard of here.
Yeah.
We stuck the big guys down on the block, yeah?
That's right.
Jump hook. Yeah, if you can do the cream, you got it.
Yeah.
There, they were shooting threes and really moving and stuff like this. And, so there was a lot of things to get adjusted to, yeah? And this is the main challenge at the beginning, trying to adjust to the European style of the game and, and also with the language and things like, like edge, niche, three, chetty, you gotta learn these things. Yeah, this is part of their culture. But at the end of the day, that was the biggest challenges, I think, at the beginning. So basketball itself is pretty much the same at the end of the day, just a small differences you have to get over.
Could you have foreseen originally when you started over there in the early 2000s playing that style, like Euroball, becoming popular in the States at some point, as it kind of is now with some of these guys such as Luka Doncic, maybe somewhat of a passing of the torch down there in Dallas from Nowitzki to him this year, other guys as well, Ginobili over the years in San Antonio. Did you think it would eventually come over to the States at least popular to the extent it is today?
No, I didn't. But, I mean, like with everything else, I think the technology helped it. Yeah, a lot of things are going on, a lot of big movements in Europe as far as basketball. And so, like everywhere you can find talent, everywhere all over the world. And I think it was just a matter of time before the NBA started looking. I think they probably should look a lot more in Europe into bringing guys here. I mean, it's difficult because, 30 guys get drafted a year, 50 guys get drafted a year. So.
It really is amazing, right? It's such a small sample size, especially when you compare to other sports. You got, the Major League Baseball's got, 20 rounds, essentially?
Yeah.
And hockey does as well, and we know about the NFL. It's a great point because I feel like it's not stressed enough about how it is so limited when you break it down to how many guys actually get to play in the NBA come out of the draft each year.
Yep.
Yeah, and also, man, I just know how is also adjusting to, because you were a point guard, so the coach's schemes, things like that, of that nature, communicating with coach. Look, when we were at Northridge, we were the general on the floor, right? We had to always, whatever Coach Braswell gave us, we had to make sure we relay that message out there. How was it out there in terms of in Austria? How were you able to communicate with the coach, knowing that you didn't even know the language at that moment in time? How did you communicate with him, or did you, or what was that like?
I think the communication always, when you have a good synergy with the team and with your coach and with the players, the communication is always good. How I did it was like how any other player who is a pro should do it. The coaches expect you to know a lot of things, and they expect you to be on a level. And when they recruit you, they know what they're getting. Yeah, so usually they're looking for certain types of player, and me, I was a pass first kind of guy.
Yeah.
Maybe I got into a situation where I had to score a little bit more. Yeah, but this was easy. Yeah, I just had to play my game, and the real communication is when you do something bad, something that they don't like. But overall, the schemes are the same. Everybody has the X's and a little bit differences in how they want you to pass and move, but yeah, you can get adjusted easy.
What's the biggest misconception about European-style basketball that maybe a lot of people still don't realize here in the States?
Misconception. Let's think about that one. I guess that the guys really can't compete on the level out here. I think that the talent level is much more deep than what the people really know.
Yeah.
This is a big misconception, and
because we only hear about a couple guys each year who, when you have those mock drafts put up, they're only talking about maybe 2, 3, 4 guys, but you're saying it's a lot more deeper than that, the pool.
Yeah, it's the same as here, we got, in America alone, obviously there's many more talents than that make it to the NBA. And it's kind of the same thing there. And there's also a little bit of politics in the game, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got the guys, Luka Doncic, for example. He's from Slovenia. Ljubljana. I was there for a tournament, and he's a hometown guy. He was brought up there and kind of, you know, pushed to be in the position he is, yeah? And in this situation, these guys stand out, yeah? But there might be another guy who's just as good in the neighborhood, but just not in the right, you know, not in the right position, and that takes away. But I think there's a lot more talent than you can imagine.
Markus Carr joining us here live in studio on Behind the Mic. On the other side, more with Markus. We'll get into CrossoverNation.com, all their kind of good stuff. Keep it tuned right here to 790 AM. We're back after this.
You're listening to Behind the Mic with Brad Delius.
What up? Swish. Baller. LA, Austria. Basketball. You know how we do it. International. Yeah. Hey. Rap, basketball. Let's go. Yeah. Rapping ball, it don't matter. I'm wrecking it. It's winner's ball, so I'm up top checking it. You got a nice shot, but why you not respecting this? I perfected this. I'm on my step. Stop and pop from here. It's been an awesome year. Here comes a new flavor in your ear. I'm kicking that new raw. I really rap. I really ball. I'm Swish. My pleasure. There's no successor.
Behind the Mic, live here on KABC Radio. Welcome back. Brad and Keith hanging out. We're joined live in studio by Markus Carr, otherwise known as Swish. Where does that come from, by the way?
Yeah, man, I wasn't a shooter, but when I made it, it was a swish.
Eastern Washington. He hit that way. Hey, man, I always knew he can do a little rap, but all right, I like that little.
Man, you don't remember in college, man?
Markus used to rap all the time. I'm Markus Carr, making cars, and killing cats on the court.
I love it. And this is before YouTube, obviously, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
This is going back a bit.
This is ancient, definitely, yeah.
Let's talk about Crossover Nation, and you're the founder of it, obviously. Basically, for people who aren't familiar with it, what is it all about?
It's an event agency. It's actually a movement, you know. It's dealing with all things basketball and entertainment. Well, let's say we do basketball camps for kids in summer. We do school sport services. We do parties. We do adult basketball tournaments. We do
those probably get pretty competitive, I would think.
Yeah, so they get really competitive. Yeah. And it's actually the older they get, the more competitive they are. That's the truth. It's a movement. You heard the song, the music right now, and I like to get personally a lot of young people involved. Me personally, as a child growing up, I mean, the lifestyle around basketball was also important. You know, I had guys, you know, making music, we're playing basketball, we were just living it. And I remember a lot of the experiences going to basketball camp. I went to Georgetown basketball camp, for example, when I was young. And Allen Iverson just got out back then, and everything was hype. And we were in there, and the best part about the basketball camp, it was an overnight camp, was in the dorms at night.
Oh, yeah. I went to UCLA. That was awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's cool.
It's so much fun.
We had the Soul Train line. We had guys from all different states, Tennessee, doing the dance from their own country and stuff like that. And these things went far with me. I mean, to today, you know, I'm talking about it now. And this was kind of like the background for me to start. And I had an opportunity to start in Europe with a partner of mine named Lucas Laska in Vienna, Austria. And with this guy, you know, we were able to come up with the camp and the whole idea of Crossover Nation and the name itself, Crossing Over. I mean, you kind of get with it's like crossover music or crossing over to another side. Yeah, mm-hmm. Obviously, what I did on the basketball court, which was crossing over. This whole thing was just part of a big movement for us.
And you know what's interesting is I follow some of the stuff you've been doing out there. It's really nice to see, and I see you're trying to bring it over here to America and over here and United States, and it's when you look at it, it's like, wow, you see what's going on over there. You got a lot of kids. You got a lot of people involved in it over there. How big is this over there? Because I don't think people really know. And so I'm asking you how big, because I see a lot of kids and I saw the thing you did with Red Bull, right? What was that about? I mean, but how big is this movement over there? And what is the plan to trying to get it over here? Or have you guys even came up with a plan yet to bring it over here?
Well, I mean, it's big in the way that, basketball in Europe, or especially, let's say, Austria, is not the hugest thing. And we help open up a market, open up a platform for many people, whether it's street ballers, whether it's professionals who want to outlet or showcase their basketball. Yeah. And we bring the real style, the original style of American. It's the same when Ibrahimovic comes here with this, with the soccer. Yeah. It's bringing a certain flavor along with it, that people like, they're attracted to. And I think we were able to do that in a lot of ways. Now, getting back to the fact that basketball is not the biggest sport in Austria. We have ski, we have soccer, we have, it's a cold place. So, these winter sports are the major things. And basketball was kind of looked at as more of a fun thing or hobby thing. But over the years, with the technology and people seeing things and it's become a lot more competitive, I think we hit the right time to bring out the crossfit and bring out all these events. And now we're on a level where things are going smooth. Of course, there's a lot of more work to do, but it's been 8 years. And we survived off merchandise, off selling things through our events and stuff like that. And now I think to take it to the next level, we would try to brand it, Crossover Nation, bring it to America, and just put it out there, man, and get into merchandise and stuff like that and try to do more big events here.
How important has it been to kind of surround yourself with like-minded people over there to help you out with Crossover Nation, who kind of, they're cut from the same cloth, sort of say, just like yourself, experience a lot of similar life things, and, they're willing to make it happen because obviously it takes a village, sort of say.
Yeah, the support there is tremendous. I mean, you have people who really wanted it, like I said earlier. And my partner, for example, he played basketball in New York in college. So he had a little bit of experience of traveling, and his vision was pretty much the same as mine when we started it.
Let me ask you, Marcus, just to now get into a little bit of NBA and international players. You've seen a lot come past your path and your way, and you've been watching. I know you closely. You watch basketball probably every day. These international players are in the game right now. Who do you think is that next Dirk Nowitzki? That next number one Euro in the league?
Wow, I really like the Greek Freak. Yeah,
the Greek.
I like the name. I like the game.
I'm not going to say his last name.
Giannis.
Keith will spare us all on that one.
Yeah, his last name is whoa.
It's tough.
But why Giannis?
Man, I mean, Giannis can do it all. I mean, and he's fearless. He's pretty fearless. And a lot of guys coming over from overseas, they have to prove themselves. Giannis came right out the gate, ready to play and doing his thing. And I'm an Austria guy, and we speak German in Austria. And one of the other bigger guys is Dennis Schroeder. He's a point guard. He's awesome, man. He's pretty awesome. I mean, I hope he's able to reach really high levels to help open more doors for European players. But I'm acting like I'm born in Europe, but at the end of the day, I see the talent level there.
Yeah.
And who else do I like? Who else we got?
Joel Embiid.
Uh-huh.
You like Joel Ben Simmons?
Is it Ben Simmons International?
He's from Canada, so
I guess we can do that. That guy, I didn't know that. That guy, he's insane. He's insane. Even LeBron said, yeah, he might be the next big time. I mean, Ben Simmons is on that list. I would.
Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, Serge is consistent. Very consistent.
Ricky Rubio.
Rubio's flashy. I like him. Ricky came a long way. I wish he would shoot more. He can shoot.
It's crazy how we obviously live in an era right now in the NBA where the Golden State Warriors are a dominant team, probably one of the greatest teams will go down as one of the greatest teams in NBA history. You also have LeBron, and it's kind of like this group of people who kind of follow LeBron wherever he goes, whether it be Cleveland the first time, Miami, back to Cleveland, and now out here in LA. They always succeed. His teams always succeed wherever he goes. But outside of LeBron and the Warriors, we have all this young talent, right? And a lot of the guys that Keith mentioned just there, whether it be international or homegrown players here in the States. What do you think about where the league is going, think kind of ahead post the LeBron James era, post this great Golden State Warriors team? The league seems to be in good hands. What's your take?
Before the big three and the big fours, and we have maximum four now, the big ones, before this really happened, not before, during, like last year, Golden State struggled in the playoffs a little bit against which team was that with
last year, Houston.
No,
Houston
before
Rockets?
Houston, with the young, strong point guard, new one. See, I mean,
who they play first round?
Golden State last year. They take on was it San Antonio or was it the Pelicans?
It's the Pelicans.
I think it was the Pelicans. Yeah, I think it was one of those teams in the first round. I can't remember exactly.
I know.
I've been following them every year.
Utah. Ricky Rubio was killing.
Yeah, it wasn't easy for the big guys. You know,
Yep.
It wasn't easy. I think the talent. I think guys are just getting raw players. You know, I mean, the training techniques now are insane, and these guys are trying to compete. Of course. At the end of the day, the superstars are winning, but I think it's getting more competitive for them.
I got one more question for you. Why the ball kids have failed so hard playing in Europe? I know you
like I
laughing
said,
about that.
like I said at the beginning, Europe is no joke. You got to get adjusted, man. You can't come out of high school thinking you're about to go out there and just dominate those guys.
Now, they don't, correct us if we're wrong here, but they don't like a big-time media circus kind of descending upon some of their teams over there.
I think they would like it. I mean,
oh, you do?
Maybe they just don't know how to handle it in some kind of way. You know, maybe it's too much, especially this circus. That they brought to
I was going to say, you have circuses, then you have the ball circus.
I think they were like, yeah, what's going on? Kind of like at the end of the day. But yeah, it's just funny. It's just funny. I mean, you got to get adjusted, man. And at the end of the day, though, I think those guys finally got adjusted, the Ball brothers, the kids. And they had some good games. They put together some good games. I would say Lithuania is not the toughest league in Europe.
Okay.
And I think the father was thinking, of course, he knew that when he brought him to that league. But I don't know what other business went behind it.
He's Markus Carr. Follow him on Instagram at @swish_crossover nation. Markus, this is a lot of fun, man.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, thank you, man. And tell the guys to go on to YouTube, Crossover Nation. I did a little campaign. Who's the GOAT? Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Real quick,
it's Michael Jordan.
I'm in LA right now. I want to meet LeBron. I want to say hello, but Michael Jordan, baby.
I'm about to kick him right out.
You can't go wrong.
I got hyped when he came to LA. I can't lie. I was in the middle of doing this campaign. Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Yeah.
Nice.
I love it. Markus, we appreciate it, man. We'll have to have you on at some point again in the future. All the best to you going forward. Hey, enjoy your time back here in LA.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. This was really great. Really great.